versus Kanai.
Got Suspens in the yellow, Kanai in the blue. So we do see a splatter scope coming out from Neppy there. I believe that I've seen them play before, and they're pretty dang good with that weapon. It does look like they're kind of just trying to take over our view of the right side of the map there. I'm a fan of the carbon roller, even though they just went down immediately. We got 2 down on the side of Kanai.
Sometimes I think this map can be kind of back and forth at the very beginning, and it's either if one team gets a very, very strong kind of coverage of the map very early on, they're able to take this really quickly. And right now, it sort of seems like that was the situation here with Suspens, able to push all the way to the second checkpoint. Not quite sure if they're going to be able to make it through, as a couple of members of Kanai have resurfaced and are doing their best to kind of keep that tower on its stop. Nice shot right there.
By Neppy, but unfortunately the undercover umbrella totally blocks him being able to stop the tower going there. A push to 29 is really good getting through those 2 checkpoints. I think one of the things that was really important there was that they did manage to quickly take down Neppy when they did have the Stingray earlier on the push. And the undercover on that again. Oof.
I agree with you there. I think Neppy was really the target to take out right there. And if they had been able to do that a little faster, maybe, I mean, that push was fantastic from Suspens, but if, you know, the other teammates from Kanai were able to kind of come around and support Neppy a little stronger, maybe that push could have been stopped. But fantastic, really quick knockout from Kanai, or from Suspens, and great showing right there.
Yes. Honestly, like, they just really took control over everything and just kind of ran with it. Like, a very quick game, a very good show of there. We'll see if Kanai is able to do better on Rainmaker Humpback now.
We certainly will. I think that this is a little more evenly matched to be able to kind of watch Rainmaker Humpback, because, you know, there's a couple of different pushes you can make, but certainly the one that's seen most often is coming up that right-hand side. The one I love is going up the block on the left and pushing to that pedestal very, very quickly. And you don't need to do a lot to get there. If you can get on the top of that block, you have so many points.
I'm just here for any kind of cheesing any map, so I'm here for that too. Like, it definitely is the harder path, just because it's so easy to just rain down on someone there, and it's so hard. It's just so quick to be able to stop someone. But at the same point, if everyone is focusing on the right side, it's so easy to kind of like cheese your way over there and just kind of be like, "Okay, I'm over here now. You were all over there distracted." But on the other side, like, you do have a pretty like nice way of getting around, especially pretty easily with the humps jump around in different like parts of your owning, where you just like swim as cleanly as you would on other maps. But we'll see. I suspect we'll see another splatter scope coming out again. Ballpoint. I suspect a pretty similar comp, to be honest.
I agree with you there. I'm really excited to be able to see what they're able to do. All right, and getting into it now, I don't know. Ooh, yay, we have a tent umbrella. 2 tent umbrellas. Nice.
I just want a hammer fight now. You know, like, please make it hammer time.
I agree.
Carbon gets a nice pick there, but then immediately gets cleaned up by the T-Tech.
And that T-Tech gets taken out by Neppy over here. These tent umbrellas, I'm actually a little surprised to see for this mode. We've come to expect a tent umbrella on clams at least, but to see it on Rainmaker is a really nice change. I'm wondering if it's the strength of the hammer here, or what kind of the play is. It's a great kind of diversion from what we had seen in Rainmaker previously, because the umbrella can paint very well for that carrier. Ooh, that pop was deadly right there.
I think also with it in particular is that you can do exactly that. You can just guard the Rainmaker, and then you can also just squish everyone that comes up to it by the hammer. It's like such a good weapon for driving a path forward, but unfortunately it also has the downside of any bomb that hits the umbrella will also immediately go off and probably will kill you.
Absolutely, and I think that was kind of the problem right there. It seems as though Suspens is doing everything they can to try to gain this lead back, but they continue to go down over and over again, 3 at a time, which just makes it very difficult for them to get anywhere on this map.
Squirrel does get taken down by a snipe there. We see Nebi's been holding on to this Stinger for a while. They've let the Rainmaker reset, and generally it's just been that Tenebrola that's been the last one alive on the team of Suspens. Now the Stingray does come out. They're trying to squish down Para over there, that's left, but are unable to.
Makes it really tough sometimes to just get those couple of points where you need to be, and it seems like at this point, you know, Kanai is doing a fantastic job just keeping Suspens away. Oh, that hammer though! No, never want to see a hammer go down just on that early pop.
I think one of the things there, too, is that Acidity was doing such a good job of getting around everyone, but once they pulled out the hammer, they really weren't able to deal with Slosher on that kind of ledge there. We do see a push coming out, but there's the hammer and there's the Stingray!
Oh no! And that
down they go.
Had their number right there. It wasn't going to get any better, unfortunately. So, you know, nice stop to that push from Kanai.
And revenge! Revenge of the hammer! One Tenebrola against another one, but the hammer always there.
And here we go, coming up this right side. This is the exact push that we had been anticipating all along. Squirrel doing as great a job as possible, able to take that lead. Oh no, I thought they were falling off. Oh my gosh, twice I thought they were about to fall off. But no,
and there's the KO!
That was such a cheeky jump too, just kind of jumping around to that side of the pedestal and getting that beautiful KO. Really nice.
It's one of those things that's really cool on Humpback in particular. Use rail to kind of propel yourself forward more closer to the pedestal, and then once you are there, you also are able to get around it to a point where it's really hard to rain down on you from spawn. I'm happy that their move was a putz. Okay, so we now have 9 people in the lobby with us. So let's see if Kanai is doing a swap out or I don't know. Just chill here and wait for them to leave. Pick your players, Kanai. Pick your players.
Yeah. Maybe someone wanted to kind of coach someone else, but within this type of play, it's not usually the best idea. There we go. We did have a swap out. Legend in for Joseph, it seems. No, for Acidity.
Still there. Yeah.
Acidity.
I'm curious to see what Legend plays. I know that Joseph's really been sticking on the Enza. Nefi has been clearly sticking on the splatter scope. I'm excited to see what this has in store for us.
I am too, especially looking at this going on to Clan Blitz.
Yes. We are going to Clan Blitz on Gobi. Yeah. I really like this combo, not gonna lie.
I do too. What do you like about it, Earth?
It isn't as strong for baller.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just get stuck at that wall. You can't get past the wall, and if you're on the other side of it, you're stuck inside.
Very true.
And I think it makes it an interesting kind of play of, like, can you take over the other team's flat? Especially, like, because you go, like, the left way and then jump off there. Because if you take over that, you've got a really easy way of getting in a lot of clans, because they can't just, like, rain onto you above. But at the same point, like, it's also kind of all of the clams are right in the middle, and it's pretty easy for things to go downhill quickly. And also, it's hard to come back with a strong defense once you've, like, lost your plot there. You really need to be able to have something that can take them down from there quickly and not get overwhelmed.
Very true. I think in terms of that, I think missiles are really strong on here. I think this is a great Stingray map. And I love Booyah. And those would be kind of the three specials that I would anticipate the most coming out here. I think you're right in terms of Baller gets a little harder. Maybe a splashdown, but there's not a lot of area once you get to the basket that you want to use that. So I guess my fourth expectation would be armor.
Yeah. I mean, we're definitely going to see armor from Joseph. If we don't see armor from Joseph, I would be surprised.
I agree with you there.
And here we go, getting into it.
I also really love the clan placement on this map. They're so spread out, and it really helps you kind of find your way throughout the map without just censoring in on one spot.
Do you see that Last Shepherd Carter deco in Candy?
Inkstorm, there's the one that I don't know if I quite expected that, but I'm really excited to see it.
Inkstorm?
Yeah, because I was sort of expecting to see the armor instead or I'm not sure kind of what I was expecting, but Inkstorm is a really good one that I didn't even think of for this. Because they do have that armor for that Kensa Undercover, and the Splashdown, I guess, is maybe the pick that I'm a little more concerned about.
I mean, I think if Para is able to do this flank that they're doing around the back there, and they're able to splash down on top of Para, that would be a very good. They don't even need it. They manage to score quickly on their own.
Really nice job there. Squirrel just has to be very careful as Legend is looking for them, does get picked off there, and Legend gets another pick right now. Beautiful job using that hammer. That's a full wipe on the side of Suspens.
We can see why their name is Legend.
Very true. Nice dodge from Neppy on top of that block as well. That torpedo had completely targeted them, and they were able to get away very quickly and continue to live out for now.
I think that Neppy has also just been doing a very, very good job in particular of being a very mobile charger. Like, they're able to get these far away picks. We see Candy coming in with the auto bomb rush, probably the most annoying special in the attack game.
It's a lot of fun to play, though.
Yeah. Personally, though, like, I love playing a carbon roller, but I like...
Oh, no. Candy had 9 clams, was going for that last one. They would have had 2 power clams over by that basket, and Neppy had picked up the other power clam that would have given them a total of 3 for a really, really strong push on the side of Kanai.
And unfortunately, Neppy is not able to defend in a 4v1 situation. They are able to score, but it looks like unless Para is able to totally sneak around, that's the end of that. Neppy does manage to clean them up there and catching out that flank.
Legend over here, though, sharking around, does get a power clam, gets to toss it into the basket, but gets taken out very, very quickly. I'm not sure any of the other team... Oh, they get another one in, and they get the lead!
2 in! And more than that, too. It's not that they just managed to get the 2 in. That might be a 3rd! There it is!
Very nice job. And breaking it all the way down to 37, which, when you think about it, it's 3 power clams and a single. It's not as much when you're breaking it down like that. When you look at that number, 37 is tough, especially because it seems as though we have a DC on the side of Suspens.
Ooh. That never is fun.
I'm not quite sure if there are DC rules for Saturday morning coffee. What do you know about that, Earth?
We are definitely past the DC rules. It's the usual ones of past 2:30. There's never a replay, as well as the score-based one of, I think it's past 50, but it might have been moved to 70 or to 30. It used to be 30. I think we moved it to 50. That I would have to check, but we are definitely past the 2. I think both teams know that this is not grounds for a replay.
Alright, well, sometimes I think the best mode that you could possibly have a 3v4 in is clams, because it becomes so chaotic. Sometimes you're not quite able to keep track of that third person, and even though one team has more, they might not always be able to to keep on top of everyone. So I think that this could be the opportunity that Suspens is still going for here.
I think the thing though here is it's just like they will have such a harder time with paint control without that ballpoint. That yes, they managed to keep that last power slam from going in, but it looks like Legend is able to pick it up and again show why they are Legend.
Really fantastic plays coming out from Legend, getting those power clams in the basket, kind of very sneaky, I would say, over and over again. Nice job. Nice shot by Neppy.
I'm always here for good snipes. Ooh, but the torpedo taking them down. They are able to break the barrier though, and the barrier might remain open if Candy is able to get there in time. And they are! And that's game.
Really nice job right there. It's tough when you have a DC, and unfortunately, you know, it can't be helped sometimes. But I think both teams still really held their all. And it's a great job that we now have the first game, I believe that's the first game going to Kanai for this set.
There we go. Okay. So overall it looks like we're running a bit behind. Not just us. But we do see some of the other matches already moving on forward. It's cool seeing like how far we are going, at least, and that we are on. So I guess we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, we do have an opportunity for Kanai to kind of come back and reverse sweep this if they're able to do that. You know, this is the first time we'll be seeing splat zones within this set, so maybe that's Kanai's kind of ace at the hole, their secret favorite mode, if you will. And Manta Maria is one of my favorite maps in the entire game, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Do you laugh because it's one of your least favorites, or?
No, I really do I really like Manta too. I was thinking about that, and I hadn't really ever really thought about it as like one of my favorite maps. I think like out of the modes, Splat Zones is actually I just like Tower, just like Splat. But like I don't know, I think I like Clams best on this just because just thinking about all of the games that I've watched that are on Clams.
Okay.
That all the games that I've watched on Manta have just been so good. Like just I can just think of a lot of the like different Ghost and KP games that have happened on here, the For the Win game, like just all of those top level games where it's just very much like back and forth for Clams. Where for zones you do see that sometimes, but sometimes it is kind of just a shutout of can take the zones and push up further quickly.
I agree. I think it's harder when you have a dual zone map because you do have a lot more back and forth. If you're not paying attention to your zone and you're kind of pushing to the enemy can take over yours much faster. So something to watch out for. But, you know, there's a lot of room as you're working towards the zone to build your special. There's different avenues you can set up. You can flank very easily on this map. So I think that all of those are reasons that it makes it really enjoyable to watch.
Yes, definitely. We see similar comps coming out from sides. However, we see a Octave Rush this time instead of the Neva Swoosh. I believe that Legend had been playing last time.
Ooh, nice job.
Full wipe.
Is it Squirrel? Squirrel? Would that be how you pronounce her name? Yeah, I thought it was Squirrel, but it's Suilel. Squirrel. Oh, Neppy getting found out here, trying to just stay alive and make sure that the pressure on them gets pushed away. Does have that stinger.
Yep, the ballpoint was still there. Dropping when you see the ballpoint there and then you don't see it again, you don't see them jump out or leave, like, they are still there. They are waiting for you.
And they really were. But so far, Suspens doing a fantastic job shutting this game down very, very quickly. I think one of the things we noticed from them early on as well is they are a team that if they're able to get that commanding lead very early on in the beginning, they can shut it out the best chance that Kanai had was in that Rainmaker game when they were able to take the lead instead. Then Suspens had to work a little harder later on. So Kanai needs to take control of zones very, very quickly and put a penalty, and they do! Fantastic job right there.
Legends also just manages to do an excellent job there with that Keza brush, being able to just push that hammer. I think honestly a lot of teams still aren't used to being able to respond to the hammer. And I feel like it's one of those specials that truly causes panic. Like, it used to be kind of the thing where you see the inkjet, hide here, try and kill them. Like, what do I do? But with the hammer, you're just kind of like, well, I fight or I'm dead.
Right.
And
if I can get it,
I'm still dead.
Yes, exactly. That's my thought too. It's like, well, if I can get them weak, maybe someone else can come finish them off, but not a whole lot I can do.
Like, honestly, whenever you kill a hammer that's like gunning for solely you, it's just such a good feeling. You're like, ah, yes. You tried this on me, and no, I would not let it work. Nice slosh from Pi.
Really fantastic job.
I know that you play like sloshing, slosh deco, some. So what do you think overall of the slosh deco play that we've seen, both in this set and I think in the last as well?
So far, I think they're doing a great job. You know, using that baller to cap zone when they needed to was really strong. It's nice that both teams have one because you can definitely see that I think Suspens is using their Slosher Deco to push forward a little more than Kanai is, and maybe that's been helping them because sometimes it is kind of better to use that for offense instead of just objective.
I think the interesting thing here is that Candy did move the carbon to the Slosh Deco, where I think Candy was doing a really good job with deck overall. Like, it's a hard weapon to play, and they were doing a really good job of being able to pick up on people. And I think particularly on this map, it's kind of a good map to have someone who can be sneaky.
I agree. Candy dodging that bomb up there too, making sure that they can stay alive, offering their teammates an opportunity to kind of jump in and get to mid a little bit faster. But it seems like they just don't have enough map control to move throughout as safely as they'd like to.
They do only have a couple of seconds to get back in zone before this game is over and they're running winners. But they are able to cap. Not for very long, and they do go 3 down for it, but they are able to cap and finish the game.
It does give them a little extra time. Maybe they just need to work to come together. You know, they have a little bit of a staggered spawn going on right now. If they can build some of their specials in unison, that would help them push forward to take these zones. But after they use all their specials, they have to be so careful because they won't have anything to defend with.
I think that's kind of the problem here, is that they've been using their specials to get into the zone, and then they aren't able to hold the zone without them. Especially just because of the specials that are coming out from defense.
Candy looking for a pick here. Unfortunately, doesn't quite find what they're looking for. Does get a baller, so that's going to be helpful. Ooh, popping ball in zone to me was a little bit of a misplay. I know they were doing it to stay alive, but maybe if they could have pushed up to take out Sparadox before they launched that inkjet.
They have a long run to hold, but they do have a player advantage right now. High up there, though. Legend is able to get this kill. They'll have a pretty good shot of being able to at least get through this penalty and get some points on the ground. They do only have this one run, though.
And that Stingray was their last special, so they really, really need to build some right now before the rest of Suspens breaks in here. I don't know, that inkjet's gonna make it tough for them. They can do it! They can do it!
It's so close! It's so close! And there it is! They were able to do it! Oh my gosh!
I wonder what happened in terms of Suspens. If they kind of lost a little communication at one point and fell off a tiny bit, or what was going on there at the end. Because it seems like something not quite right happened.
Yeah. Pi, though, with the 21 kills, that was a really incredible run there. And now we move on to our last roll on Black Belt. I think. been confirmed that I am correct. What are your feelings on Tower Control Black Belly?
I have not seen this map mode played in quite a long time. I'm assuming because this is the first time it's... Are we using X rank maps for this?
I think we're using pseudo X rank. I'm
Okay.
not 100% sure, but...
Because I was thinking this is like a really tough one. That checkpoint that's sort of within the half pipe is so hard to break through, very easy to defend. And I think that's why this map doesn't get as much play as maybe a lot of the other tower control maps do.
I feel like I've just avoided tower, like, you know the, like, kind of, like, everybody avoids Schellendorf clams? I feel like I do the same thing for tower control,
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's kind of the thing of, like, sees it on the thing, looks at League, sees that it's Slam Schellendorf in League, turns off Switch, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like, it's not that bad, it's just, I feel like it's one of those maps where it's like, you can defend if you push up really, like, you can just push really, you can make it hard to defend if you just push up really far, but at the same point, if you do overextend that much, you really put yourself in danger of losing a lot of map. And on this map in particular, it's just, you have that kind of map control just to be cool. I'm curious to see what will get pulled out to counter, right? Apparently my mic just keeps falling in my mouth. I'm sorry, friends.
No, that's okay. I think we're getting what you're saying, that you do need a lot of map control to be able to sufficiently run this. Oh, that remix though is really going to be helpful for them here.
Yes.
Having that booyah, I think is pretty strong. I think this whole set they've come up with is a good plan.
I think the one thing with the remix here is, like, I feel like some people would question, like, I won't question it, I love it, but I think some people would question the choice of the remix over the vanilla, considering the sync, right? We do already see a push coming out, and Squirrel really getting pressured there. They are able to survive, and, you know, I jinxed it.
Commentator's curse. But at the moment, Kanai is making their first push, and it's pretty strong so far, bringing this tower all the way to 47, right above that checkpoint that I said was so difficult to defend. So if they're able to sort of move past it, or into it, I think they're in a good point, but 41 is not a bad lead right now.
Neppy getting a good snipe on Sparadox as they came up intentionally, just trying to be able to move quickly. Squirrel's on the tower there, but they do end up stepping Booyah. I think the Booyah went a little bit further than they were expecting it to go, and they aren't able to push the top further. They do go 3 down as well, it's just the T-Tech with their special already up.
And right now, it seems like the map is pretty evenly painted from both sides. I think Kanai is doing a little bit to try to push back and push a little forward from the tower, but they're very, very spread out. Whereas I think Suspens has a little more... I say that and Kanai, of course, comes together, but, you know, just had a little bit more of an opportunity to focus their movement and where they wanted to be situated.
I do think that Legend's just done a good job of being annoying, to be honest.
I agree.
Just doing that with both the brush and the hammer, I feel like that's just the perfect... Like, I feel like it's more annoying than the Flash Blaster, honestly. It's just... It's there, you can't, like, it's annoyingly out of reach a lot of the time, and there's a hammer, like... It's not that great of a weapon, it's just annoying.
It really is. It can kind of be a perfect nuisance for you. And, you know, Legend has been showing that too. I think it's like every time Kanai gets it to that half point, they're not quite able to push it past, but Suspens hasn't been able to come up with their reverse push. So the pressure from Kanai is really showing that Suspens needs to find another way to kind of get past what Kanai has been putting up as their defense. Maybe it's that lack of stingray, as you were mentioning.
I think one of the things here too is that Kanai is just doing such a good job of continuing to push the tower, even in the cases in which they might not be able to hold it. Just because it keeps it on their side. But then again, I say that, and look at them. They're already at 6. Is it almost the knockout? There it is. And we do
Beautiful
see.
job.
Wow. What a beautiful reverse sweep here.
Absolutely wonderful. I mean, game 5 in our second set, super fantastic to see. We went to, you know, game 4 in our first one and game 5 for this one. I think this is kind of shaping up to be, besides the Discord issues, some really fantastic semifinals that we'll be going into.
Honestly, this has been quite incredible. We do